All right, this is going to be a unboxing and a review of the Aquamaxx Bullet-1. It's a HOB protein skimmer that just recently came out. Open the box. It looks like the box got a little damaged. It's definitely nasty. So let's see here. Okay, as we unbox it, it does look like it's wrapped fairly decently. Let's see. Pretty small instruction book. That's always nice. That means it's going to be easy. So you think. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay. Looks like it comes pretty much assembled already. See if we can set this over here. Paper is probably just... Actually run a 28-gallon JBJ Nano. Yes, packing slip, okay. And used to have a 180 that was set up pretty nicely, which I only did a couple of videos, and a couple years into it, I decided it was too much. So I got rid of it. So far, it looks like... But I was trying to find something pretty small that would fit my JBJ without any major alterations to it, that would fit in the back of the all-in-one. And as you can see, obviously no filter on it, but this is the JBJ there with the red C reef LED on there. So ignore the mess. This is the basement. This is the man cave. And if any of you have a problem with it, you can come clean my stuff for me. 'Cause I'm a single dad, daughter that's got special needs, and I do what I can. So, well, it definitely is a very compact skimmer. I'm curious as to how well it's going to perform. They did say that it was for 30-gallon max light bioload, 20-gallon max heavy bioload, but in all honesty, I'm not one that likes to overload my tanks too much. I'm not really... I'll have a few fish, maybe 2 to 3 fish tops, and then the rest will be corals. So we're going to see how this performs. And in my opinion, a lot of people say that you don't necessarily need a protein skimmer, especially on one that size, because you do your weekly water changes. But I beg to differ. I say, you know what? Even if it isn't the top performing one that you could possibly get, anything, in my opinion, is better than nothing. Any extra filtration, you know, goes a long way. So, looks like a fairly simple setup. We'll get this installed and get it running, and I'll let you guys see how it's running. Then I'll give you a review on the actual mechanics of it and how it actually works, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so we've got this Aquamaxx Bullet-1 installed on the JBJ 28-gallon Nano. I will say that first impressions with this protein skimmer is it's pretty sleek looking. When I got it back on the back chamber, it fit perfectly. I've actually already altered the chamber once back here for a different protein skimmer that I absolutely did not like. So if I hadn't cut the separation wall that was right there, this would have easily fit in either of the 2 compartments on this side. And I would almost guarantee that it would have fit on the other side as well. So first initial impression as far as fit goes and look, I'm going to have to give it a 5-star. The priming of the pump wasn't difficult at all. As said in the directions, you pull off the airline tube here off the silencer, and you just put it down into the skimmer water until it primes itself. As you can tell, this protein skimmer is extremely quiet. I like that. That's why I got rid of the other one, because my pumps do make a little bit of noise, and the dog toys too. But this thing is silent. And when I say silent, I mean silent. And you can see the reaction chamber in there is working extremely well. It does, you see that the bubbles it's already starting to create. Lots of micro bubbles. It does say to raise the collection cup to its highest point. That is a little difficult to decipher, because on this one you have the collection cup and then the reaction tube here that is all one piece, or appears to be one piece. I don't want to pull on it and try to break it, but when you loosen this nut, the whole piece slides up and down. So I don't know if I'm supposed to pull it even higher, past where your micro bubbles are created in the first reaction chamber, the small one that runs up, or you know, or to where the nut is, you know, somewhere within the collection cup. So I decided to just put it right below the lip here. There is a 2 to 4 week break-in period per the directions. You know, I guess that depends on your system and what you have installed. So right now I'm going to keep it up until it gets through its little break-in period. Then I'll do the fine-tuning. And the fine-tuning on this one I like, because instead of some where you have to adjust the air, you don't adjust the air at all on this one. You just adjust your collection cup. So that's nice. I'm not going to lie. Good job, Aquamaxx. A few things that I did notice that I would suggest is, one, the sponge they have on here to stop any micro bubbles from getting into the system was a little low. It was even with the outflow. Well, it does push out quite a bit of water, and it was rolling over the sponge and kind of splashing. So what I did is I just gave it just a little tiny pull and pulled it up maybe a 1/4 inch, and that solved that problem. So easy fix there. But I would suggest raising that up a little, in my personal opinion, just for me, because the return pump for this is just right below this, and I don't want to send any micro bubbles back into the system. Not that I've seen any really coming out. If there is, there's very, very minimal. So they did a very good job there. Very easy fix there. The other suggestion I would have is that it says to level it with your aquarium. Well, if you're like me and you have a rim, except for here where I've cut this rim off, but I have a rim back here, it's not exactly going to level when you tighten the screw. The leveling screw is actually right there on the front of the sponge. You tighten that screw to clamp it to the tank, and very nice, very easy to do. A lot better than most where you have to reach behind. And when you're like me and you only left yourself 4.5 to 5 inches of space, or however much space, that can create a problem. So good job on putting that screw up front. Very good job there. But the problem with me was I had a frame. So this skimmer was kind of tilted. But what I did is I just had an extra suction cup, and I just stuck a suction cup right back here. Pushed it in, and it leveled it nicely. So if I had any suggestions on any improvements on this, I would say, one, add something or add in a suction cup or something along that line for people to add if they have a frame tank. Outside of that, very nice. The other thing that I noticed was whenever you're pulling off this air tube up here, off the silencer to prime it, obviously this is a brand new tube, so it's going to be tight. So don't go in like Hercules and yank on it as hard as you can. Just, you know, wiggle it until you get it off. So make sure you don't do any damage to the pump or to the silencer here. It doesn't look like it's going to be something that would be a hard replacement, but I would suggest, hey, new protein skimmer, let's keep it in brand new condition. But overall, I would give this protein skimmer right now, without seeing what kind of skim mate it creates, I would give it a 5-star. 1 out of 5 stars, I would give it a 5-star. It's slick. It is a little bulky out of the top, but it's not near as bulky as most that I've seen, especially for hobs. I love that they have the intake on this wrapping over the outbound. For me, in my opinion, that kind of tells me that most of the water is going to get recollected. And, you know, hey, run it through as many times as you want before you put it back in my system. Slick looking design. Quiet operation. Like when I say quiet, really quiet. And I'm very picky about how quiet stuff is. So overall, 5 stars. Good job, Aquamaxx. And we will update in a couple weeks and show you what kind of skim mate is creating.